Welcome back to the weekend preview here for Los Alamitos Race Course. It is the weekend of April 29th, and thank you for watching there. You're watching through the Los Alamitos social channels on Twitter, Facebook, and also on the YouTube page, as well as losalamitos.com. Welcome back to the program. Now joined by Michael. Michael, how you doing this Thursday afternoon here?
Very nicely, thank you, Jose.
It's been it was a week of trials. Our first major futurity of the season trials. We got done last weekend here with the trials at the kindergarten. What were some of your main takeaways from those trials, as we have a pretty good field assembled there for the final in just a few short weeks?
I'd say it's a very good field. I think the main thing to come out of the trials is how many of the most highly regarded debut performers qualified to the final of this race. I mean, Heath Taylor came in with an army, and they all made it through. All of his big names have qualified. It's amazing to think that there were those three horses, Think Again, Kevin's Knockout, and Political Rivalry, who contested the same three-horse morning gate drill back in the first half of March, then came out and all won their debuts on the same program on the 1st of April. Then they came out and all won their trials to the kindergarten futurity. Plus he had another winner. He had 5, I think, qualify altogether. Chosen One was the other winner, and then Brindisi was a runner-up in a Taylor Exacta. So we knew that Heath Taylor was loaded coming into these futurity trials, and he's loaded coming into the final without doubt. And it was interesting to read a few comments by Heath last Sunday night, recapping his horses' performances, whereby he actually sees room for improvement with some of these horses. He was saying that Think Again, Kev has room for improvement because of how the horse was difficult to ride for the first 100 to 150 yards. Jose Nicasio having to try and pull him away from an inside horse that he was lugging in towards. Chosen One, he thinks he might try a different bit with. It is interesting to watch that horse in the replay of the trial from last Sunday night race with the head so low to the ground. Political Rivalry took a little bit of a bobble at the start of that trial. So it's scary to think that Taylor sees ways that these already precocious, well-performed, undefeated horses could even take a step forward into the final. But having said all of that, Jose, the fastest qualifier is from Jaime Gomez and Dutch Masters 3, who hold the trainer and owner record respectively in the kindergarten futurity.
Kind of circle back on how dominant the Heath Taylor barn was on trials night. Having said all that, he didn't have the fastest qualifier, like you mentioned. It goes to Jaime Gomez and Racy Sweet Corona here for Dutch Masters 3. So Dutch Masters 3 owns 4 victories in the kindergarten. As owners, they hold the record with 4. And no, the trainer has won the kindergarten more times than Jaime Gomez, who's won it 8 times. So they scored a Racy Sweet Corona. And I got to tell you, I was visually impressed with the way she took another step forward second time out. So I really like the way, he's a gelding, the way he stepped it up and got it done.
Absolutely. Very impressive performance by the fastest qualifier. So even though Heath Taylor comes in with the weight of numbers, the Jaime Gomez horse is still probably the one to beat. This morning line from Ed Burgart's going to be very interesting, and obviously the post position draw is going to be paramount, but there's going to be so many talented 2-year-olds on show. And he's lonesome, by the way. The Lindolfo Diaz horse is not too shabby either.
No, I thought he had a big shot. I liked him on top that night. He came through with a big win. He's kind of built for a shorter distance, just his stride, his body, his frame. He's kind of built like a shorter distance horse, and kind of Lindolfo kind of touted that also as well, given that they wanted to get him going for the kindergarten, given that it's a shorter distance before they get back, they get down to the big futurities later on in the season. So I think it's going to be a tremendous final. Really looking forward to it. A lot of upside for a lot of these 2-year-olds, which should make the final very, very entertaining. Anything as far as horses that didn't make the cut that maybe you want to keep your eyes on moving forward that you can think about?
Yes, I made a note of a couple, but just off the top of my head, I'm not going to come up with a name, except that horse of Taylor's with wine in the name that Bobby Cox bought. And I heard you talking about it with Orlando on the preview show last week, how interesting that Bobby Cox would feel the need to shell out such a hefty sum to buy a horse when, he breeds so many wonderful horses himself. And that horse...
Kiss My Wine. Kiss My Wine.
Kiss My Wine, yes. That effort to get up and finish in the minor placings was fantastic, and clearly a horse to keep tabs on going forward.
So I would say Kiss My Wine and Attacked. Attacked was difficult to ride again, and Ruben Lozano never got a chance to straighten him out. He missed the cut, but he finished like a horse that wants more distance. So those two runners come to mind right now. Kiss My Wine and Attack will be some 2-year-olds that I would take back from those trials and kind of keep my eyes on as we move later on in the season.
Sorry, I was just going to compliment you on being so keen on Attack last week, and that horse helped to set up a very profitable night for your good self.
Yeah, that was a key to all the multiple pick three, like ending pick three, middle pick three, and then starting a pick three. He was, I believe, the 5th or 6th choice on the morning line in that field of 8 or 9 runners, and I thought he had, visually to me, he looked like a runner that was going to improve with the distance, which he did. But he just sadly missed the cut. But it still was a nice, profitable night for yours truly with that opinion of Attack on that trials night. So we got a nice rolling pick threes there with Attack. Definitely one of the keys of the night for me. All right, so we're going to talk about this Saturday night. We got a 10-race program, and we have the Kaweah Bar as race number 10. That's a grade 3 event. But before we do that, why don't we talk about some of the 2-year-olds on the card? I know there's one 2-year-old that you want to take a look at.
Yes, my pick for the preview show will be my first 2-year-old selection of the season. I'm very interested in the 9th race, which is one of, I think, 4 2-year-old races on the 10-race card. And the second choice on Ed Burgart's morning line is number 8, Expensive, listed at 3-1. And Expensive certainly was expensive at $132,000. That was the purchase price at the Los Alamitos equine sale last year. The horse is out of the Damn Eagle on the Fly, a stakes winner and grade 1 placed mare who earned about $220,000 in her career and sold for almost exactly the same amount at the 2017 Heritage Place Winter Mixed Sale, where Dr. Steve Burns purchased her for a sale topping $225,000. Inevitably, she would go to visit Favorite Cartel, and she has produced several runners from that champion sire. Blame the Fed, who was a finalist in a pair of graded derbies in Texas. Eye on the Sky, a 3-time juvenile winner trained by Jose Flores, who was a finalist in the Ed Burke Million Futurity. And Jose, how could we forget the debut performance by Eye on the Sky at Los Alamitos?
Didn't he went by something north of 3 lengths, if I remember correctly? I mean, it was such a visually impressive debut win, which is a full sibling to Expensive.
Yes. He just had everybody dropping their jaws in amazement. And it's fair to say that Eye on the Sky didn't quite live up to his potential getting into his 3-year-old season, but he was exciting and dynamic, particularly in that debut win. We'll get back to some breeding tidbits a little later, but let's go to the workouts for Expensive. There were 2 of them, and the first was on the 25th of March.
Yep, 25th of March, he was on the outside of this 2-team set. And again, this is March 25th, and he ended up posting a time of 12:40 in this workout.
Yes. Now, this was the second fastest of 44 morning works that day. The only 2-year-old to run faster that morning was Boardwalk, who has, of course, a huge reputation already and was an impressive debut winner. Now, look at this gallop out. Look at him all the way around the clubhouse turn here.
He wants to go around again.
Yeah. And you'll see the same kind of gallop out when we show you the second gate work a few weeks later. I think that it's terrific that the horse has been held back for his debut at 300 yards rather than 220, because he's going to eat it up.
So here it is. He's on the inside of a two-team set. And the thing for him, as good as the Galpa was in the first one, I like that he now worked on the inside of horses this morning.
Yes, that's a good point. He's had experience on the outside and the inside in his two gate works. And as good as his times were for 220 yards, I'm just loving what I'm seeing around the clubhouse turn from him in the gallop out. That dazzling debut we were talking about by Eye on the Sky was actually at 220 yards. And I just think that this 300-yard distance drawn one from the outside is beautiful for the career debut of Expensive. Troubleshooting is another full sibling by Favourite Cartel from Eagle on the Fly, a 2-year-old winner and finalist in the Grade 1 Rainbow Derby. Jose Flores also trains Interesting Eagle, who was a finalist in the Governor's Cup Futurity, although by a different sire, so he's a half-brother to Expensive. But those other three that we've talked about, Blame the Fed, Troubleshooting and Eye on the Sky, are all full brothers to Expensive. Dr. Burns retained a share in the ownership, and I'm excited to see what this horse can produce on Saturday night. Now, the horse who's favoured on the morning line is the only horse with race experience, and that came at Remington Park. I'm talking about Monte Rosa's AJ Pure Gold, who has gate number 5, 8-5 on Ed Burgart's morning line. The horse lost the debut by only a head and cost more than Expensive. It's a $175,000 purchase. But Jose, I'm willing to gamble just because of the lack of local experience. The horse was at Remington in that debut this month, earlier this month. So ships to Los Alamitos with no turn and work or gate work showing. And, it's hard to say how that counterbalances against the worth of actual race experience. But again, that was at a different track. And drawn in gate 5, right there, crunched in the middle of a field of 9 first-time starters. I just would prefer to have a look. I think it's worth just taking a little risk against AJ Pure Gold because of the lack of local experience.
That could be the key here towards preferring someone or the local runners that have been working well, like you showed us there with Expensive. The workouts are there, the gallop out is there, the pedigree is there. A lot of things to like about Expensive there, and I think you'll get somewhere north of 2-1 on Expensive.
Yes, hoping so. I think the horse is worth an investment, and I presume it's safe to say that whatever he does on debut, he'll improve on. But if he runs half as well as Eye on the Sky did on debut, it'll be a winner's circle appearance.
Yes, and keep for the viewers, keep plenty of tabs on all these 2-year-olds, because we're seeing the entry box get filled up for this week, next week as well, because these are runners that are now going to be pointing towards those trials of the Ed Burke Million Futurity coming up. What is it? End of May? Early June? End of May. May 28th will be the trials for the Ed Burke Million Futurity. So May 28th. So they're trying to get these 2-year-olds to start and get some experience, get them ready to go, and then get some time off in between now and those trials on May 28th. So keep plenty of tabs on these 2-year-olds as we keep going here through the season at Los Al.
Yes, and all of the race replays and all of the morning gate works are available for free at losalamitos.com.
That is for sure. And also, if you're on track or watching via your favorite wagering website account, if you're watching the live feed, the live video from Los Alamitos simulcast, you'll hear Mike Wrona's voice and presenting a lot of these workouts for the day of, and you usually do it right before. Is it before the changes or after the changes?
After the changes at 30 minutes to post, prior to the post parade for the opening race, if we can fit them all in that time frame on Saturday, because with 4 2-year-old races, there's going to be a lot of mate, I'll be having a bit of a vocal workout before I even call the opener.
It'll be a warm up. It'll be a great warm up for you right before the races. So you're going to be busy with a lot of these. But then the video team at Los Al will also show these workouts race by race. So right before race 9 or race 8, they'll show the workouts pertaining to that specific race. Let's talk about the grade 3 Kaweah Bar race number 10, 350 yards. These are for 3-0s and up. We have runners that are exiting the same common event, Michael, which is the Muniz Stakes. And on this night, I thought Shotgun might have needed a local start before running his best. I was wrong. And a lot of people were wrong because he went off at almost 5-1, defeating a few of these quality rivals in that very game win in the Muniz Stakes.
Yes, and that makes him a deserving favourite for this. He was fantastic. I was very impressed with the effort by Shotgun. And again, it was his first start here. And he gave experienced Los Alamitos horses a beating. So he's got to be very tough again. But gee, it's an interesting race. There's so many good, talented horses signed up. I remember thinking last year that the Kaweah Bar deserved better than a grade 3 status, and I'm of the same opinion for this year's renewal. I'm not sure what you need to do to get an upgrade, but it's a very good race. And as far as exotics are concerned, there are so many ways to look. And I know that Christopher Wade is making his preview pick in this race, but I'll just kind of just skim over a few of these horses. Obviously, everybody loves Cattail Cove. How can you not? Stuck in Probate, in my opinion, should have won the Southern California Derby. He's been going very well for some time now. At 8-1, number 3, Apolitical J Streak. Mate, I've got about a half dozen horses on my watch list that have popped up in this race. Apolitical J Streak is one of them. This horse was also unlucky in the Southern California Derby in December. He finished 4th. I thought it was an excellent recovery to finish 4th after some significant trouble. His last start, even though he was it 4th of 5? But it was a very good effort. He wasn't beaten far, closing after trouble. Apolitical J Streak, if you can cast your mind way back, won a trail to the 2 million futurity at the end of his 2-year-old season. He hasn't won a race for a long time, but I give him a chance here of at least featuring in the exotics. Up and Adam obviously has enough talent to win this race if they have him right, which is a constant struggle, but he's ultra talented. I even think the outside horse, Dash a Good Reason, has a chance, even though he pretty much had every opportunity in the Moonist and wasn't quite good enough. Midfield finished behind Shotgun last start. But some of his efforts from the outside post in trials too, or in the finals of really big races, have been good. He's been 3rd in a trial to the Super Derby to Golden Boy. He finished 5th in the Super Derby final to Bomb Cyclone and Scoops Dynasty and Golden Boy. And he won a trial to the Brad McKenzie Winter he ran 4th in a trial to the Brad McKenzie Winter Championship behind Impressum, Scoops Dynasty and London Toby. I mean, they are fantastic, outstanding racehorses. And so I think that this horse, Dash a Good Reason, can get into the minor placings as well from the outside gate.
Actually, that is my exact partner to Shotgun. I like 8-9-3 in the spot. So I think Dash a Good Reason. Even if you go back and look at that common event last time out in the Muniz, to me, he looked a little bit uncomfortable and intimidated in between horses, and he never truly found his best stride until the race was pretty much over. So I'm just hoping that switching to the outside will give him an opportunity to kind of get into a comfortable rhythm. I think too many things have to go right for him to win this race. But I think he might be the value in the exacta because he might have a great shot at running his best race from the outside post. So I do think Shotgun is a horse to beat. I'm not going to try to beat him. But depending on what odds Dash a Good Reason might get at post time, that might be the bet there, at least for the vertical exotics.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic betting race from the standpoint of the exotics, and I'm really looking forward to the Kaweah Bar.
Yeah, Shotgun was nearly 5-1, 9-2 on that Muna Stakes. You won't get him anywhere near that at this point. I was a little bit disappointed in Rockin' 17 last time out, Michael. I thought he was primed to run a big effort. I thought he had the post. I thought even though this distance you could argue was a little bit too short, he should have handled that field, in my opinion. So I didn't know what to make of him coming here to tonight.
Yeah, I agree. He's a horse I would risk because I've got so many others that I like. You can't pick them all. But there are 4 or 5 very interesting exotic horses for mine in this race.
So that's a look at the Kaweah Bar, the Grade 3 event. And if you watch the Muna Stakes, you'll notice 5 or 6 runners are coming out of the same event that was won by Shotgun here coming to Los Al. So that'll be the Muna Stakes on Saturday night, closing out the 10-race program. And by the way, I believe we're going to have a later post time, right, on Saturday, if that is correct. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, just got word a short time ago as we record this on a Thursday afternoon that it's a 7:25 first post.
Yes, so we'll be running later. Golden Gate has a 12-race program. Santa Anita will have a 12-race program. So all the major daytime signals are going deep into the day. That'll push us back just a little bit more, and we'll be starting at 7:25 local time here at Los Al on Saturday night, and we'll be ready to go for that 10-race program. Okay, Michael, thank you so much for catching up with us on this weekend, and let's see if Expensive can run well to his pedigree and his morning works.
Yep, and his price tag. He is expensive.
For sure. That sounds good. All right, Michael, have a good evening. I'll see you out there on Saturday.
Hooroo.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Our first Futurity of the year will take place on Sunday, May 14th. It's the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, and what a terrific group of young stars will be in action. Headed by fastest qualifier Racy Sweet Corona. He'll look to give his connections a record number of kindergarten wins, plus 4 sharp stablemates led by Think Again Kev will look to upset the top qualifier. It's a great field of juveniles. The Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos.
Burns Ranch is proud to welcome 2-time AQHA champion Golden Boy. He joins multiple stakes winner MP Shining, whose first crop are yearlings, and California champion Middle Error, with foals arriving this year. Proven stallions include Separate Interest, off to a good start in 23.
Delight Interest trying to fend him off. Delight Interest comes through in the clutch.
And Fly Through the Fire, a top 3 ranked second crop sire. Let Burns Ranch put you in the game.
Racing fans, the traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a Pick 6 carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a Pick 6 carryover or the $10,000 Pick 6 promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 Pick 6. A great bet, a great deal. Big-time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.
Yes, that's right. I did get my hands on one. I actually stole it from Chris, because Chris has been wearing his when he's doing his hits from Burgart from the simulcast signal. But no, I got an extra one. I got my Burgart hat. You can get yours this Saturday night at Los Al. The giveaway starts at 4:30 p.m. local time. You got to enter through Burgart Sports Bar, which is to the right-hand side of the main Los Alamitos entrance. So welcome back to the program, Christopher. I've seen you wearing your Burgart hat, and I know you'll be doing some hits there from there this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I'll be in there a couple times throughout the night, and it's going to be Burgart's is a great facility. That place should be packed in and out every single night. You got a great bar, you got food service, you got $5 admission after, free admission after the races, $5 to $10 admission when you get in. But you get a free hat this Saturday night for Ed Burgart. I mean, the best handicapper, the best announcer, and Jiminy Christmas, the best morning line maker, bar none, quarter horse thoroughbred harness in the industry, period. So, I mean, you get be a great place to hang out this Saturday night, and we'll be going through there and turning up you some horses along the way.
The man himself got a delivery of his own namesake hat. He'll be actually will be visiting Los Alamitos. I know he has plans to visit later on towards the end of June when it coincides with the double headers. So Burgart's hat to commemorate his sports bar namesake will be given away this Saturday, April 29th, $10 admission at 4:30 p.m. for Burgart. So we have a free handicapping contest, some drink specials, and plenty of more fun stuff to go there this Saturday at Burgart's. Before we talk about your pick for this Saturday night, tip of the cap to you, because on the consensus, my friend, you had 8 top pick winners, right? 8 top pick winners for Christopher Wade, 8 top picks for yours truly. So the 2 races you missed, I had on top. The 2 races I missed, you had on top. How about that?
That was a pretty good night. The handicappers did a good job, and we got the handicapping contest victory by a nose to the winner in the last race, because one of our other horses ran second when yours ran third. It was very, very close. And the top 2 handicappers, the Los Alamitos, ran to their numbers and were right there to throw out and got the job done in the last race. But very impressive performance.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got a super group of 2-year-olds this racing season.
For sure. Tip of the cap to Curtis, the Hitman Trees, for compiling his selections along with George Duarte, our current chart caller here at Los Al, and of course the Swiss Army knife, Professor G, doing everything and everything and everything. He does everything.
He does.
We flashed. Yes, he does do everything. Here's the top 10 for the fastest qualifiers for the kindergarten futurity. The Robert A. there. We knew Heath Taylor was loaded, right, Chris? But look at who's at the top. Jaime Gomez with Racy Sweet Corona with 15:57.
Yeah, he was very impressive in the maiden debut, and just as much, if not more impressive, in the kindergarten futurity trial when breaking in the lead and extending with run left to give. Jaime Gomez has always been one of the top 2-year-old trainers and continues on with the fastest qualifier for the Robert Adair kindergarten futurity. Racy Sweet Corona, but right beneath them, 5 of those horses are Heath Taylor's got a great barn here, Los Alamitos, and throughout the country. It doesn't make a difference what venue he's at. His barn's been going great guns last season. This season started things off.
Yeah, he does. And actually, one of the prices in that exact underneath was Brindisi, who you liked underneath in the exacta spots. That's the other Heath Taylor trainee who qualified as the 9th fastest qualifier. So there's a list at your top 10 that will return in the final of the Robert A. Dare kindergarten futurity, which is just a few short weeks away. All right, let's talk about this Saturday night, Chris, because we have 10 races. Featured event will be the Kaweah Bar Handicap Grade 3, $40,000 in the purse, 350 yards. There's going to be a short price favorite towards the outside, which is going to be Shotgun, who prevailed in the Muniz Stakes. But coming out of the Muniz Stakes, I know you like the looks of Stuck in Probate, right? The 2 horses.
Yeah, this horse has just been a nemesis of mine. He's got so much talent. He reminds me of a horse that I played last week, and it was my top choice. That terrific in Phoenix horse who broke 4 lengths slow and still ran third when circling the field and closing strong. Like, this horse has so much talent. He always breaks slow. He always gets in trouble. He's always inside hold. He's always what I call a W. On my sheets, I put a horse to watch, a long shot horse to watch, or the more W's I like, the more much money you bet on him. This horse has just been a W so many times. I said I'd give him one more chance. One of these nights he's going to break into the lead and show that big, nice turn of foot late and get in the mix at a big, big price. And hopefully it could be this particular evening. So we'll see how it goes.
Actually took some good betting support. He was lower than Shotgun in that race. He was 4-1 in the Muniz Stakes. So Stuck in Probate and Gate 4. What did you see him for this?
Well, for usual, the horse got fractious inside the gate, and he broke slow and brushed away from the barrier. Lost about 3/4 of a length. He was kind of slow in the stride. And that's the big gray horse to the inside is the aforementioned Shotgun, who's making his first time over the Los Alamitos Oval, and they always seem to prove second time over. But he crossed over in front of Muniz. In front of Stuck in Probate, and he's tight hold throughout, but he seemingly has a good amount of run as per usual. Nearing the wire, and he gallops out pretty strongly despite being behind horses and under a hold. This horse has got a good amount of talent. That was actually a pretty good start for him. But if he can just somehow break and get that middle run past the gap and be a late threat. At a big price, I expect to be upwards of 8 or 10 to 1. Of course, Shotgun off this very impressive debut, who's a nice size animal. They always seemingly improve second time over the track. He'll definitely be your favorite. But if this horse could ever get out of the gate and make that middle run, we think he can, and the big late run, he could get in the mix at a big price and hopefully show us what he can really do. Because I know the ability is there. It's just a matter of getting on gate there for Valentine's Moody and company.
Yeah, you can tell he was intimidated there after the eventual winner crossed over in front of him and just never allowed to really lengthen those strikes. He's shown a big late kick before. So it's all about having the trip to be able to flash that late kick. So we'll see if he can get it. I've been a chaser of him as well. I keyed him when he was 36 to 1 in the town policy. 4 or 5 starts to go. He's got the late kick. It's all about having that path to run for stuck in probate.
Yeah, if he gets away clean, he's got a good look at the outcome. He's drawn next to a horse who seemingly breaks a little bit slow apolitical J streak, so he can somehow break and be close up and run and make that mid-race move and late run. He has to look at the outcome at a big price there for Valentin and company.
So that's stuck in probate. Chris's selection for Saturday night's Kaweah Bar Handicap at 8 to 1. That should be a nice price there. In addition to your usual Los Alamitos analysis, also your simulcast analysis this week. I know we've, we're Renton Park underway. You've been tackling that for the Nightlines, but you're adding a couple of more tracks this weekend, right?
Yeah, like I said, Sam Houston started their season last week, and we did some selections for them. So we had Remington and Sam Houston. Well, guess what? This week, one of the tracks that I do on my numbers, on my sheets, is I do Louisiana Circuit. So Delta Downs starts their season this Friday night. We'll be taking them on the simulcast, being piped in. I think we're doing races 6 or races 5 through 10, something along those lines. We're doing Delta Downs, Sam Houston, and Remington Park. So we got upwards of 15 simulcasts being piped in, and we try to help you along with those selections on the Nightline program and, of course, on the website.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to that analysis. See if you can remain hot, because you were hot on the consensus last week with plenty of top pick winners. So well done to you, and looking forward to all the selections and all the racing from Los Alamitos. Reminder to the viewing public, we're starting a little bit later this Saturday, 7:25 local time, approximate post time, because both Golden Gate and Santa Ida are going 12 races deep each. So it's going to be a long daytime signal for them. So we'll pick it up, our live racing, immediately after they conclude their live racing. So Los Alamitos, a little bit later post time this Saturday night. And Chris, we'll be looking for all your analysis there from the paddock each and every race.
Okay, boss. I appreciate you. Have a good night.
And before we wrap up the show, I want to bring you back to a couple of those 2-year-old events for Saturday night. Again, we're going to have numerous 2-year-old events on this Saturday evening. Races 5, 6, 8, and 9 are races for the 2-year-olds, mainly comprised of first-time starters. Let's first take a look at race number 6. Race number 6. We're going to have two very well bred and well worked 2-year-olds in the mornings that are going to take the majority of the bets, I think, in this race number 6. So I'm going to key on 2 of them. The inside runner, Favorite City, and the outside runner, More Than Heart. Let's take a look first at at the inside runner for Favorite City on April 18th. This was a workout. So April 18th for Favorite City. And he was going to be on the inside of this 2-team. She was going to be on the inside of 2-team set. Watch how she kind of hesitates a little bit at the break for the inside. But then I like how she immediately accelerated without the rider asking for much. Was down maybe a neck to, I would say, a half a length, and then ended up being almost half a length in front of the workmate with a time of 12:30. Favorite City along the inside. The rider wraps up on her after the finish line, but she's still eager to do more. So I like the way she finished her workout. I like the clocking. That was her first local start after coming in from Remington Park for that training race over there on March 1st. And Favorite City is going to be very, very tough if she runs to her works and her pedigree. Another workout is going to be on the outside. There's going to be More Than Heart, who's going to be the 6 horse. And More Than Heart is going to be in this set. And she's going to be in the middle of this workout on April 8th. And More Than Heart middle of this 3-team set. She's my favorite cartel out of Hearts Delight. Watch how she breaks fairly well from the middle. And look at her. Her size suggests she wants more distance. She's a big-bodied filly, big, long strides. Ears are up. She's pulling away there from her workmates. The rider was under a light hand ride. She was drifting out ever so slightly towards the second half of that work. But the gallop out is there. She wants to do more. You can see she's still eager. Strong gallop out, time of 12:50. So her frame, you can see at the beginning of the race, at the beginning of the workout, she kind of took a few strides to really get rolling. Once she got rolling, she really lengthened those strides, and she really wants the distance. So 300 yards should be a good distance for her, but I think she's going to get better when she gets to 350 and maybe even 400. And also, I think she might be, wanting to have a little bit more racing experience to get those gait reflexes really, really popping. So she's another one that worked well and really caught my eye on that workout. And she'll be part of that 6th event. So More Than Heart is on the outside in gate 6. That's the last workout we just saw. Favorite City was the first workout we showed you. I showed you there, and she draws the inside post. The Favorite City was purchased for $235,000 at the Ruidoso sale because she is out of Sin City, which makes her a sister to that champion, 8 political pence. So, she's got tremendous pedigree. She's a high price sell. She's got a good workout with good times of 12:30. To me, she'll be plenty tough to deny from that inside post if she runs to her looks, works, and pedigree. Race number 8 is another one of those 2-year-old events. This one is a 220-yard race for the fillies, 2-year-olds. We do have an experienced runner by the name of Sizzling Ivory, who's making the 3rd lifetime start. But let's take a look at the 5-horse Around Town, a filly by Favorite Cartel out of Moonlight Corona. This one is homebred for Dr. Red Allred. And this one worked on April 18th. So we'll take a look at that April 18th workout. Here we go. Around Town on the outside of this 2-team set. And watch how here the racing a little bit green, but then the strides begin to pick up here and kind of switches leads here and begins to really motor home while the rider is very quiet, and then the rider immediately takes a hold once they approach the finish line. So she was very eager to do more once she kind of leveled out midway to the workout. She ended up checking back behind the workmate that floated out around the turn. But again, I like the way she was aggressive going early on as far as wanting to kick those strides and really accelerate. We'll recap the workout again here. Watch how she breaks a little bit off balance, a little bit green with the head high right there. But once she really levels out midway, she wants to do more, and she begins to pull away. And then the rider immediately takes up as she's beginning to want to move out, and then takes up again and the gallop out. But the quickness is there. The pedigree is there. Moonlight Corona. You think of siblings like Nomadic and Circle City. Some very, very talented siblings there for her. So she is well bred. She touted some talent in that morning workout, and she's going to be one of the 2-year-olds to watch for the barn of Scott Willoughby and Dr. Red Allred. So that's going to be Around Town in race number 8 from post number 5, listed at 5-2 on Ed Burgart's morning line. All right, that's going to do it for us here for this weekend preview. Again, thank you to Michael Wrona, Crystal Voigt for joining us. 10 races on Saturday, with the feature event being the Grade 3 Kaweah Bar 350-yard event with a purse of $40,000. Coming out and visit us at Los Alamitos. You want to get your hands on one of these Burgarts at Los Alamitos hats. You can get it this Saturday night, beginning at 4:30 p.m. local time. If you enter through the Burgart Sports Bar entrance to the right-hand side of the main Los Alamitos grandstand entrance. So $10 is the admission for Burgarts. You get this commemorative hat, and there'll be plenty of drink specials, food specials, and a free handicapping contest as well, free to enter with your admission to Burgarts. Again, Thank you so much for watching this weekly preview. We hope to see you next week here and coming out and visit us at Los Alamitos Racing on a Saturday and Sunday night basis. Have a good night. Talk to you next week.
The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos. Our first Futurity of the year will take place on Sunday, May 14th. It's the Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity, and what a terrific group of young stars will be in action, headed by fastest qualifier Racy Sweet Corona. He'll look to give his connections a record number of kindergarten wins, plus 4 sharp stablemates led by Think Again Kev will look to upset the top qualifier. It's a great field of juveniles. The Robert Adair Kindergarten Futurity. The best of quarter horse racing is always at Los Alamitos.
Burns Ranch is proud to welcome two-time AQHA champion Golden Boy. He joins multiple stakes winner MP Shining, whose first crop are yearlings, and California champion Middle Error, with foals arriving this year. Proven stallions include Separate Interest, off to a good start in 23.
Daylight Interest trying to fend him off. Daylight Interest comes through the clock.
And Fly Through the Fire, a top 3 ranked second crop sire. Let Burns Ranch put you in the game.
Racing fans, the traditional $2 pick six at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a pick six carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the pick six pool. That means that every Sunday night, Los Alamitos has either a pick six carryover or the $10,000 pick six promo. Plus, our total pools have been gigantic, including a $274,000 pool on March 11th and a $205,000 pool on January 7th. The traditional $2 pick six. A great bet, a great deal, big time wagering opportunities, always at Los Alamitos.